Love and light, friends. I guess I didn't really realize that there's quite a few YouTubers getting into the Bible and whatnot. I really don't watch that many YouTubers or channels, um, especially having to do with religion and the matrix labyrinth that you get into whenever you get into that subject. So that's interesting. I find it interesting that there seems to be quite a few people getting into it. And I really didn't, I haven't looked into it deeply. Maybe there's not that many, and I just came across some, or maybe there's more than I realized. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm saying with that. Just to say, I didn't realize there was, I guess, that much interest in it. And then I started doing mine, and merely just for the sake of pointing out what I'm trying to wake the entire collective consciousness up to, and that is that these gods' characters are egregors, that we, you, me, every man, woman, is here as a living representative of the Prime Creator, and there's nothing in between you and you. Except maybe your brain, your two-sided dualistic brain. That's the only thing between you and you that's confusing the shit out of you and making you think that there's some egregor between you and the Most High that you have to either bow to or sacrifice to or confess to or do any of this crazy crap to feel okay about yourself, to be comfortable realizing that you are the same drop of water of the Prime Creator that the ocean of the Prime Creator is. There's no difference except in quantity. So let's do another Bible study. I've got another one of these wonderful New Life magazine publications, and so let's go through this and see what we see. Jeremiah 46. Let's jump into this. This word Adonai spoke to Yirmiyahu the prophet concerning how whatever the hell the king's name was of Babel, it's unpronounceable, would come and attack the land of Egypt. Proclaim in Egypt, announce in Migdol, announce in Noph. Say, take your stand, get ready, for all around you the sword is destroying. Why has your strong one been overthrown? He failed to stand because Adonai pushed him down. He causes many to trip. Yes, they fell all over each other. Then they said, let's get up. Let's return to our own people, back to the land where we were born, away from the sword that destroys. They cried there, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, makes noise, but he lets the right time for action slip by. As I live, says the king, whose name is Adonai Zvaot, when he comes, he will be as mighty as Tabor among the mountains, as Carmel next to the sea. Daughter living in Egypt, prepare what you need for exile, for Noph will become a ruin laid waste without inhabitant. Egypt is a beautiful female calf. but a horsefly from the north has come to attack her. Dead, dead. Her mercenaries, too, that she has with her, were like well-fed calves in a stable, but they too have withdrawn in retreat. They all ran away without standing their ground, for their day of disaster has come over them, the time for them to be punished. Egypt hisses like a snake as the enemy's army marches ahead, attacking her with their axes like lumbermen chopping trees. They cut down her forests, says Adonai, for they cannot be numbered. Yes, there are more of them than locusts, far too many to count. The daughter of Egypt is put to shame, handed over to the people from the north. Adonai, the God of Israel, says, I will punish Ammon from Pharaoh and Egypt with her gods and kings, that is, Pharaoh and those who trust in him. I will hand them over to those who seek their lives, to King of Babel and to his servants. But afterwards Egypt will be inhabited, as in the past, says Adonai. Yet don't be afraid, Yaakov, my servant. Don't be distressed, Israel, for I will save you from faraway places, and your offspring from the lands where they are held captive. Yaakov will return and be at peace, quiet, with no one to make him afraid. Don't be afraid, Yaakov, my servant, says Adonai, for I am with you. I will finish off all the nations where I have scattered you. However, you I will not finish off. I will discipline you as you deserve, but not completely destroy you. God, you so lucky if you got Adonai in your court, huh? Don't you feel lucky as hell to have some creature like that claiming to be your God and telling you, don't worry, I'm going to murder a shit ton of people, but I'm not going to murder you. Thank you. Thank you. My God. May I bow and worship thy feet now, or should I do it later? Many Christians have only a vague notion, and here we go, jumping from that insanity in the Old Testament and all the mayhem and bloodshed and murder and craziness. Now we're going to jump into many Christians have only a vague notion of who the Holy Spirit is. God bless America. I hope they're not trying to say that Adonai is the Holy Spirit, that bloodlusting, disciplining, murderous entity in the Old Testament surely isn't the Holy Spirit, right? But who knows? Let's read on and see what these people are trying to weave a web of insanity for your mind if you allow it to happen. They may have heard of him. Oh, and notice that the Holy Spirit is also a him. Just like the Son is a him, just like the Agregor is a him, just like the God is a him, just like Baphomet is a him, just like Satan is a him, just like the devil is a him. There's never any kind of feminine power, equator, balancer. It's always he, all these creatures, all these entities. Although he is often overlooked, or perhaps even neglected by many believers, he is just as divine as the Father and the Son. Consider these facts. He possesses a divine personality and personally chooses people for ministry assignments. Wow, really? How could you verify that? Could you show us one example of how that works? Oh, you can't? Okay, we're just supposed to believe it by faith. Okay, got it. Next. He communicates with us Oh, this part's awesome. We got to shut up for this. I want to crank it up too. You just turn this Bible study into a mosh session and get just as much out of it. At least we'd go away feeling good. He communicates with us and searches out the deep things of God to make them known to believers. He is the one who makes Christ a living reality to the believer. And in fact, he is called the Spirit of Christ. He is co-equal with both the Father and the Mother. The Father and the Son. There's no females. There's nothing feminine here. It's all a fist slamming against your face. As part of the mystery of the triune God. The mystery. I think the real mystery of the triune God is that it's a completely masculine triangle of misery and all-seeing eye of nuttiness, to where we get so confused and so insanitized that we completely forget who and what we are, where we've come from. That's my take. You might believe this crap. It's completely up to you. I'm just pointing it out. Understanding these biblical facts about the Holy Spirit within the larger biblical story of who God is and how he relates to his people is important. It's important to know how he relates to his people. I'm not so sure you're his people. I think he's got a special chosen people. God's plan in redemptions was that we would live full of holy crap. The Holy Spirit. Do not be drunk with wine, in which is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit. So they're really worried about what you're drinking, but they pay no attention to all the slaughter and death and bloodshed going on. We're not too worried about all that, but we are worried about what you're drinking. Can we do a little test on your drink and see what percentage of alcohol is in there? Because if it's higher than we like, we're going to have to probably punish you in some way. Right? Incidentally, I don't drink whatsoever, so it really doesn't matter to me. But when you consider that the Holy Spirit is a person, the third part of the Godhead, what does it mean to be filled with a person? He is not a gas or a liquid. He's as much a person as the Father and the Son. It's a better description of being filled is to say the Spirit controls us. I don't know what kind of mind control you got to be under to not be concerned by that sentence right there. But, if you're just an old-time religion person and you've never been able to think metaphysically and you've never really gone too deep into yourself to find out if there was anything actually in you, but that you thought all this external crap was all you were, then it's a better description of being filled to say the Spirit controls us. So you're acknowledging that some other something that is a spirit is controlling you. Okay, that sounds great. Would you like to love more deeply and more freely? Do you wish to have more self-discipline? Are your life and ministry producing fruit? In order for these things to happen, you must surrender to the Helper. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It just when you've been through as much as I have, you've seen as much as I have, and you've dug into this as much as I have, it's funny now. In hindsight, you will laugh your ass off. In other words, if you're stuck in any kind of religion, if you're bowing to an egregor, if you think that you have to bow 5 times a day or 7 times a day, if you think you have to go give tithes to the money grubbers, if you think all this crap that you've been mind controlled to believe was the truth over all these years, centuries, decades, and you come out of it and you wake up and you see it for what it is, you're going to laugh your ass off that you were ever that stupid, that unconscious, that belittled, that beat down, that amnesiac. The Holy Spirit is the one who can produce self-discipline, love, and boldness in you. Now, do you hear what they're saying to you? Listen again, listen. The Holy Spirit is the one who can produce self-discipline, love, and boldness in you. I'm being bold as shit right now. Is the Holy Spirit the one doing it? Or is it my spirit the one doing it? Can I love with my own spirit, with my own choosing, or is it the Holy Spirit? Can I have self-discipline by deciding I'm going to do this and I'm not going to do that? Or is it the Holy Spirit controlling me? For it is God who works in you both to will and to do for His good pleasure. So you are pleasuring the egregor when you're on your face, bowing and worshiping, groveling, confessing how terrible and worthless you are, and begging for this spirit to come possess you so that now you are able to do the right thing, think the right thing, love the right way, blah, 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 on and on, because you have been stripped of who you are, of who and what you are. Your ancestors were stripped. Your grandparents were stripped. Your parents were stripped. Your great-great-great-grandparents were stripped. Everybody in the line behind you has been stripped. And my question to all of you and everybody and the entire world is, are you going to continue to be stripped? Or are you ever going to rise up? We're listening to an album right now called Arise. Will you ever arise? Remember who you are. Remember that you obviously are connected to the Prime Creator, or you wouldn't even have consciousness, you wouldn't even have love, you wouldn't even have light, you wouldn't even be able to fathom unity. We have been stripped, and it's time to stand back up, arise, and be who and what we are, and not listen to this crap from these egregors. It's all confusion and madness. Burn it. Let's go back to book burning, at least for a little while. Love and light, my friends. Until next time.